It is now November 1st, and I say this every single month at this ranking that this year is going by way too fast. But I saw 4 movies in October of this year, and I'm going to rank them from the worst to the best. And coming in last place, we have House of Spoils. I thought that this was a movie that I just thought it was boring, where it has this interesting concept of this woman opening up her own restaurant, and then it kind of has like this cursed, it's like on this cursed like witch's burial ground, but it's never scary enough. The characters are never interesting enough, and it doesn't utilize its potential properly, where it could be very scary, but I think it's more just this our chef having anxiety because she's seeing all these visions, but none of the visions are scary enough. Like, I don't really think it can be as gory as maybe it should have been. And I'm not saying it needed to be some super ultra violent movie to be scary. It didn't. But I just think that this movie, it just kind of fell flat in its premise, because I think it had a really cool opportunity to be kind of similar to The Menu from a couple years back, where it just has this uneasy, eerie feeling to it. But I thought that it just kind of fell flat and wasted its potential, because it has a cool potential of making this horror vibe around a restaurant, and that could work, but it's not scary enough. Like, we don't really understand, like, we understand a little bit what happened, like, there's this witch and stuff, but it's just not scary enough. The characters are not interesting enough, and it's just kind of a boring movie. And, like, there's so many times where I pause it, I'm like, how is there still, like, an hour left? And this is a short movie. It's only, like, an hour, 40 minutes, but it feels so long because the pacing is just so bad. And coming in third place, we have Joker Folie à Deux. And this is a movie where everyone has just ripped this movie to shreds. I said how I liked it. I didn't love it. And I still stand by that. I've only seen it once. Who knows? Maybe when I watch it again, I won't like it as much. But as of now, I still think that there is a lot to like about this movie. Even if I don't think it's amazing, I don't think it's solid. I think it's good. Like, the cinematography is gorgeous. The acting is fantastic. But I think where this movie doesn't really come even close to as good as the first is Arthur and also Lee. Their just character arcs aren't interesting enough for this movie, because a lot of this, because this is also a musical, which I liked the musical scenes. I thought that was cool. But because there's like a musical scene like almost every 10 minutes, we don't really get that much character development. It doesn't even and by the end of this movie, you just can't help but think, like, what even happened? Like, it's a courtroom drama mixed with a musical, but it doesn't really commit to either of them fully. So we have just kind of underbaked musical and underbaked courtroom drama with fantastic acting from both Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. But it just kind of falls flat because it has this really unique idea, but it doesn't commit to it fully. And at the end of the movie, you're just like, why would you make that decision? It just made, I respect it for taking creative risks, and I actually did like the movie. I didn't love it, but like I said, I definitely think it's also just a movie I need to rewatch. Who knows, maybe I'll like it a lot more, maybe I'll like it a lot less. But even though I didn't love it, I definitely respect it. But I think that its tone feels all over the place, and the characters just never feel as developed as they should be, especially in comparison to the first one. And coming in second place, we have a movie called Don't Move. And this is a movie where I thoroughly enjoyed it. As I wouldn't really call it a horror. I guess I would call it a thriller. I hate using that word. But that is kind of what it is, where our main... It's interesting because our main character is paralyzed almost this entire movie. And it's really just... We're seeing... Well, not the entire... How she's slowly becoming paralyzed. And, like... We're seeing how she has to utilize, like, no, her muscles are breaking down, and what she has to do to get out of it as this man is trying to kidnap her, and some of the unique stuff she has to do in order to get saved. And there's so many moments where you're like, oh no, and you're like, oh, you have to do that. And, man, that's so unfortunate. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. I don't think it's really ever boring. At least I don't think. Well, okay, there are some scenes where because she's just kind of paralyzed the whole movie, can be kind of slow, but I think that the atmosphere around it is able to boost that up quite a bit. And this is a movie like I would definitely rewatch when I would not rewatch House of Spoils. I might check out Joker 2 again eventually, but if someone said, "Hey, I want to see Don't Move," I'd be like, "Yeah, I'll definitely check that out again." I thought this was just a very solid movie and a lot better than I thought it would be. And yeah, I thought it was pretty good. And coming in at number 1, we have Smile 2. I thought that this was a big improvement over the first Smile, which I already really liked. But what I think this movie does so well is because our main character in this is this famous pop star, it has almost this bigger sense of dread, these bigger stakes, because you're like, oh, she has all these fans that love her, and like especially in this, she's kind of trying to do a comeback, and like then she has this demon, and it's so much more for her to deal with. It feels like the stakes are so much higher. I think that it's scarier. I think that the performances might even be better. And it's just a movie where I think, and also the musical scenes are very good. And it's just a very intense movie. And I think it's one of the best horror movies of the year. I don't know if it's the best. I need to rewatch it along with some other horror movies I need to rewatch. But I think as of right now, it's definitely, I think, in the top 3 best horror movies of the year. I think it's also in my top 10 favorite movies of the year. I think that the acting was great. Naomi Scott was great in this movie. Ray Nicholson, son of Jack Nicholson, was in this movie. He was very good. I think that the concert scenes are very cool and very intense. And it's just a movie where it shows like how this concept almost seems so silly, but done properly like it is done here, it can genuinely make for a fantastic story. So yeah, that was my ranking for all 4 of the October 2024 movies that I watched, ranked from the worst to the best. And tell me, what was your favorite movie of October 2024? Leave your ranking in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed my ranking, and leave a comment what you thought of your ranking, what you thought of my video, and subscribe for more rankings and reviews like this.